growing up, his IQ was just so different. I used to say, he reminded me of LeBron James. They'll laugh at me. I'm like, okay. And then when they come to the game, they're like, you right.
You know, I've always dreamed of being one of the top players, and this is what comes with it.
He's the real deal, and he's continuing to get better and better, and an unbelievably good teammate.
The most versatile freshman in all of college basketball.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the best player. That's how I should feel. I think I'm the one.
The 2021 NBA draft class is extremely strong, and it's incredibly underrated because, I guess, of the global pandemic that we had over the past year. We didn't get a huge opportunity to do a deep dive on some of these players. Now, the Detroit Pistons got the #1 overall pick, and things are about to get extremely exciting. If they take who everyone says they will take, it is a one-and-done 19-year-old who was born just after September 11th, 2001. He is a kid that's just as unique as he is mature, and the way he goes up and down a hardwood court where he shows glimpses of greatness. This point forward / point guard is predicted to make a move to the Motor City and will make a major splash in the NBA. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a deep dive on this year's potential #1 overall pick, Cade Cunningham. Now, before we get to the content, do me a favor and smack that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and also subscribe and turn on our notifications to enter for a chance to win a replica jersey of your choice. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Cade Cunningham grew up with a strong arm and the ability to find the open receiver on the field. He committed to Texas Tech, and we may be talking about Cade Cunningham in the NFL today, if not for a freak accident on his first day of college when, while moving his bed, he cut his arm badly on a ceiling fan. Due to that injury, he never quite got his rocket arm back. Fast forward to 30 years later, Cade Cunningham's youngest son, Cade, began to sparkle on the football field, even getting noticed by the Dallas Cowboys at a very young age. But Cade, standing much taller than his father, had dreams of going pro at a different sport than football. Cade Cunningham's passion was for the game of basketball, and his talent on the court and hard work ethic off, propelling him to being talked about by all. In Arlington, Texas, at Bowie High School, as a freshman, he averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists as a power forward. Yet, he was 3 inches shorter than he is now. However, his family saw his potential and took time out of their lives to ensure Cade Cunningham's success. His older brother Cannon and his cousin and trainer Ashton Bennings, who had been working with him since the 5th grade, wanted to cultivate his talent. They also predicted that changing him to a point guard position would benefit him greatly. Still at the forward position during his second year of high school, he was a top 25 national recruit by that summer. Then, instead of playing up on the EYBL senior circuit, he took more time to working with his brother, a former collegiate player and coach, along with his cousin, to fully develop into a point guard via the under 16 level. Now, Cade Cunningham was needing more of a challenge than what the Texas high school basketball leagues were providing. Thus, he transferred to Montverde Academy in Florida. Now, if you guys don't know, Montverde Academy is a private school that is basically just a basketball school that has produced the likes of Ben Simmons and D'Angelo Russell. By the end of his junior year, he had cracked the top 10 ranking of the best prep players in the nation. However, in order to become a top-tier recruit, he would still need to boost his 12-point average he had in high school ball. So before his senior year, Cade Cunningham started training via two-a-days, focusing on shooting from the outside and taking more shots when he was tired. The hard work paid off, as summer before his senior year, Cade Cunningham ruled Nike's EYBL circuit and easily coasted into winning the MVP award. That ability to drive and finish, paired with a huge improvement from behind the arc, propelled him into an elite group. When leading the team down the floor, his reads were better, and he looked like he could easily become a long-term guard who regularly outmatched his opponents. Cade put up 25.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game that summer, along with recording the best box box score plus minus on the entire Nike circuit. Then he suited up in red, white, and blue for Team USA, and at not even yet 18 years old, he helped his team gain gold at the FIBA Under-19 World Cup, where he scored 21 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and had 7 assists against Mali in the tournament's final game. Cunningham was suddenly a top 3 recruit for the class of 2020, and the words Cade Cunningham and NBA flowed in the same sentence like they were always meant to be spoken together. He is a rare point guard and has a great wingspan, and not only can he pass and handle the ball with finesse, but he is also powerful enough to finish through hard contact. Even before college, he was being compared to players like Luka Doncic. His ball fakes and hesitation moves appear to be from a much older player, and when he gets hot, his shot-making ability screams all NBA. I personally see a player with the playmaking potential of Ben Simmons with the shot-creating ability of Jason Tatum. Think about that for a second and think about how terrifying Ben Simmons would be if he had a jump shot and a shot creating ability Jason Tatum does. Now, during Cade Cunningham's high school years, Jerry Meyer, the directing of scouting for 24/7 Sports, said of him, "I haven't scouted many prospects as polished, mature, and talented as Cade Cunningham." Oklahoma State head coach Mike Boynton is perhaps one of the most elite coaches in the country, especially considering that he is still not yet 40 years old. He just had some hard work ahead of him to get his team to prove the potential he has as a coach and a recruiter. Boynton put himself in the national spotlight as he made a big move to win over the 5-star prospect and the #1 overall player from the 2020 recruiting class. With his goal of getting Cade Cunningham to play on the floor in a Cowboys uniform, Boynton's first checkmate was hiring Cade's brother Cannon as an assistant in June 2019. Cade had been vocal in noting that his brother has been the biggest influence in his life, and Cannon is a rising coach in the college ranks as well, so that also helps. From Duke to Kentucky, North Carolina to Kansas had offers to the youngest Cunningham boy. However, if you have ever been to Stillwater as a college recruit, especially in the springtime, there is something about the Georgian architecture, the perfectly landscaped lawns dotted with colorful flowers, and the pure southern hospitality that is unmatched. Visiting the local dive for the best extra cheesy bacon fries you've ever tasted, and pair that with some of the most premier college athletic facilities in the Big 12, and just about everyone will fall in love with the aura of Oklahoma State University. It's a true college town that loves their sports and welcomes anyone with open arms. It also helps that the entire basketball and athletics staff is humble yet hopeful and treats every single recruit like they are already a member of the orange and black family. Another big factor is that Stillwater is only a 4-hour drive from Cade Cunningham's hometown of Arlington, Texas. That suburb of Dallas is not only where Cade's parents, Carrie and Keith, live, but where Cade's motivation spends her time, his 2-year-old daughter Riley. Riley was born in Texas while Cade was 1,000 miles away playing at Monteverde, when he was only able to fly home a few weekends to spend time with her. Thus, he watched her grow into a toddler via countless FaceTime calls, proved that distance did matter, and Stillwater, Oklahoma is a lot closer to Arlington, Texas than Lexington, Kentucky, or Durham, North Carolina. So in the fall of 2020, the biggest star stepped foot on the campus of Stillwater since Garth Brooks had returned for a visit. Yet this freshman was more mature and had the ability to bring Oklahoma State basketball back to relevance. Riley and Cade's parents didn't miss a game in Stillwater during that 2020 to 2021 season. And at 2 years old, Cade told the Daily Oklahoman that she's everything. She's like a bundle of happiness in a 2-year-old body. That's my daughter. She's my motivation, all that and more. During his freshman campaign, in 27 appearances, he averaged 20.1 points on 40% shooting from the arc with 6.2 rebounds and 3.5 assists per game. Cunningham then missed some time due to the COVID-19 protocols out of a crucial game against Baylor immediately following being named Big 12 Newcomer of the Week for the 3rd time via his 18-point performance with 9 rebounds and 2 blocks in a 75-70 win over Kansas. Then he was out against Iowa State, still due to COVID, and after not playing for 18 days, he hit a step-back jumper with just over 20 seconds remaining to lead OSU to an 81-77 win at home over the Razorbacks. He spent 31 minutes on the floor, finishing with 21 points, 7 rebounds and 5 assists against the up-tempo team of Arkansas. Cade scored the Cowboys' final 6 points in that game, including sinking 2 free throws with 3.8 seconds left. In early March, after coming off of a 40-point performance in the finale of the Bedlam series, the second game against Oklahoma State's rival, the Oklahoma Sooners, Cunningham suffered an ankle injury during an 8-point loss at Baylor, and he missed the final minute of the game. However, against 13 seed Liberty in the first round of the NCAA March Madness tournament, although the Cowboys escaped with the win, Cunningham only put up 15 points while shooting 25% from beyond the arc. He's still got room to grow, and I've always talked about it. Long term, from what his NBA potential is, he has to get better. He embraces that mentality, and he watches as much video as anybody on our roster, and he spends as much time in the gym as anybody on our team. This is coming from OSU head coach Mike Boynton in March. Although everyone would have liked to see more of Cunningham, OSU failed to advance past the second round of the tournament as they were stopped by another OSU, the Oregon State Beavers. In the loss that would end the amateur career of Cade Cunningham, he finished with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals. In the most expected news of the spring, Cade Cunningham announced his declaration for the NBA draft on April 1st, then signed with Jeff Schwartz and James Dunleavy for his representation. Cunningham said that it's hard to make that decision in the moment, so I just wanted to wait until my head was leveled. But I was blessed to have that opportunity to be able to enter the draft. It had been a waiting game on where will he go. That is until the Detroit Pistons received the coveted #1 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Although the college basketball season is far in the rearview mirror, there are still no days off for Cade. He still is working out for hours on end, perfecting his ball handling skills, shooting countless threes, lining up for dozens of free throws, and working on different paths of driving to the cup. He also is focusing on yoga, pumping iron, and just becoming a better, well-rounded player in anticipation of the NBA Summer League. His trainer and cousin Ashton Bennings believes that he is ready to be the #1 overall pick. Bennings said in a No Days Off web series featuring Cade that he wants the pressure. He loves pressure. MVP, All-Star, and a championship. Put whoever you want around him, he's gonna get it done. Cunningham expressed that he would only visit one NBA team. On the Old Man in the Three podcast, Cade Cunningham compares himself to Luka Doncic, saying that our body types probably resemble each other the most as far as who I look like in the NBA. Luka's role, he's primary ball handler, so that's why I say Luka a bunch. Although he didn't pass as much at Oklahoma State, due to the fact that Cunningham was the best player on the floor by far, he has shown that he can be an unselfish passer who can make the reads. His assist numbers were lower than who he and others compares himself to, averaging just 3.5 assists with the Cowboys, while Doncic had 6.6 assists before joining the NBA. Doncic, though, played with a team that was 38% from the three-point line and 49% from the field, and the Cowboys were only 30% from deep and 45% from the field. His efficiency went down a little bit as the Cowboys met their conference foes for the second time, but that is expected to happen when they figured out OSU's offense, which was centered around Cunningham, and thus he was often left playing 1 against 5. So the paint was clogged, and Cade couldn't enter, so he had to either pass or be overly reliant on the mid-range game that really not many people are that great at in today's NBA. That is, unless your name happens to be LeBron James. But as with future #1 overall picks do, Cunningham found a way to score and greatly improved his long-range shot. He's incredible at defense as well, smart enough to know exactly where he needs to be and help, and makes very smooth switches. Perhaps he is not an elite defender right now by NBA standards, but it's probably his favorite part of the game. His footwork can be sloppy, but he is a teenager, for crying out loud, who has been training with his cousin, not a slew of the best professional trainers yet. But how many point guards are 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan? Although he is not overly athletic, he plays at his own pace, and it works with his defense being good enough to allow him to play at the end of games. Bear in mind the Detroit Pistons had Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart making the all-rookie team. They can add Cunningham, sign another big name, and craft together a team that will definitely be significantly improved from this past year. Although everyone is calling for it, Troy Weaver, the GM for the Detroit Pistons, doesn't always follow the crowd. He told the media in the post-lottery press conference that he will look at 5 guys and then make the best decision. Rumors are Detroit might be very interested in Jalen Green as well, but honestly that sounds like a smokescreen to me. So could Cade Cunningham be the next great Detroit Piston? Perhaps the next Grant Hill, who may be the greatest greatest Pistons rookie of all time. They are both about the same size and can rev up the offense from all over the floor, and Cunningham is actually a better three-point shooter than Hill, but that might be because when Grant Hill played the game, it was all about your ability to drive and get inside. Hill was a triple-double king, and he was 3 years older when he joined the NBA. Hill was not super fast, but smooth, and Cunningham emulates him by playing in control and running their game. Of course, we all know that Grant Hill would eventually deal with injuries throughout his entire career as well, and hopefully Cade Cunningham won't. But Cunningham is ready. He says he has his blinders on and is ready to be a super high draft pick. The kid from Texas wants to see Giannis in person. I want to see LeBron. I want to see AD. It's going to be crazy to go up against them. My goal is to be the best ever, whatever it takes. Thank you guys for watching our very first prospect that we're going to be previewing from the 2021 NBA draft. If you made it to the end, let me know in the comment section down below who we should make a video on next. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.